So another little toy, what I purchased quite cheap, a bit run down and that. Little JCB mini digger, 1.4 ton. I've got it running and I pressure washed it all off and everything. It was all caked in clay and that, as they are. But I got it cheap because this dipper arm coming off the boom, the pin was seized in it and it's been wearing the outer bushes out because it shouldn't spin in that, it should spin in that. So I've managed to get it out and that was a right pain. It's bent the arm out a bit, it might get a bit of heat on it just to straighten it. So I've ordered a new pin for it, but to get it out, the old one, I had to drill through it. Well, whipped each end off eventually, but yeah, basically I drilled through it, which was quite tough to drill, and then I cut down just to relieve so I could knock it out. So eventually it did come out, but it's been seized in there for years and years, so that was a good 2-day job doing that, believe it or not. So yeah, other than that, get that sorted. Exhaust needs sorting. All back ends had a right good smash, so I'm gonna take that off and neaten it up. So a bit of a rusty cab up there, I'll sort that out, just go over it really, but it works, all works, and there's not loads of hours on it, and all the rest of the pins seem alright. It's hardly any play in them, so it's just that really. And I'll get some buckets for it. All the rams are alright, there's no leaks on it, so I'll just give it a good service, and I might even treat it to a coat of paint. What I'm going to do, because they're so worn, I'm going to whip them off with a grinder on both sides, because that one's even worn as well. And I've ordered some 50mm bar, and I'm going to chop a section of that off and spin it in the lathe so it's got 30mm centre, and the pin will fit in perfect then, and then I'm going to weld them on. So it's the easiest way of doing it, because they're absolutely knackered them. Look at that, look at the state of that. It's been like that for years, and you can see how much it's been wearing. Ridiculous that, isn't it? So I've got my 50mm round bar, and I've got my 30mm drill bit. So the idea is to cut off a couple of sections of that. Well, I'll do it in one piece first, and then get it in the lathe and then drill it out. And then that is for these sections on here. So whip them off with a grinder and make a new one, and then weld that on both sides. So just got me a bit of bar in it, chopped some off it, and just drilling it out to work my way up to that 30mm. So I'm through with a 20mm. So that's all good. So basically I'm just going to whip that in half and then weld half of it to that side and half of it to that side, and then obviously drill an hole, 2 holes going right through for the bolt which secures it. My pins come, undo it, that fits perfect. So just got to chop that in half now. So I've cut them lugs off, proper elongated them, aren't they? And pin goes through alright, it all fits well, so I'll cut this and get it all welded up. So I've got them chopped up now, drilled that hole through as well for that securing bolt, and then just spun the other side up as well, so ready for tacking on and welding them now. So I've got all them welded on now. Should be alright, should be nice and strong that. So just waiting for some washers, 30mm washers to put in, and I'm going to paint it all up, etch prime it and everything. So yeah, it's getting there. Well, I've just been spending the last half hour or so smacking hell out of the rear tail boot thing. So yeah, it's getting there. It was all split, it still is, going to weld it all up, but all that lot was twisted right up here, proper mangled. So yeah, it's a bit better. I'm going to weld it all now, and I've ordered some paint for it as well, so I'm not going all out, I'm just going to brush paint it in it, sort of bracket out for on here for shutting it and stuff. So yeah, get on with that. So I've welded that up, chucked a bit of etch primer on it, so need to get some yellow paint on it now, but I've just picked it up anyway. Here it is, JCB yellow. And a bit of black as well, happy days. So the exhaust was snapped, so I just had all this lot codged on it, and it was all gone. So I just welded a little section in that. Just welded that little section in there, it should do me. So that's all good. And I've took the sides off as well. Just got to straighten them out a bit. Got them off. Got to straighten them out, and may as well paint them while they're off as well. So yeah, I scraped all the stickers off. And all that rust at the top, got to treat that on the cab, that's all rusty. And a few other little bits and bobs before I wire brush it down and rough it up, ready for painting. Well, that's it. She's all ready for painting. All stripped down and that. Moved it over so I can get a bit of access to it. Rubbed it all down. And then wiped it all down. So yeah, I think I'll crack the yellow open now and start painting. Proper boring. Well, that's the yellow done. That was well boring, all that. It's a bit lighter than the original yellow, but it's alright, I don't mind it. Quite a few runs in it, but it'll do. It's only a digger at the end of the day. So yeah, let that go off overnight. And then do the black then, I think. But yeah, pretty chuffed with that. Not bad at all, that. Looks a bit better than it was anyway. Well, that's all the black stuff done as well. Done the cab as well, where it was all rusty underneath there. Should do me. Just have to wait a few days for it to go off proper. And then I've got to put filters, fuel filter and oil filter, and do an oil change. And then build it all back together. A few grease nipples I've got to put in as well. Then grease all the joints up and all the rams and everything. So I've got the dipper arm on. Got the pin in and that. It fits quite well actually. I just ended up using an M30 washer and just put it in that one side. I was going to try and get two in, but fits perfect with that in there, so that's alright. I'm just greasing it up. So I ended up giving it another coat of yellow after I put it back together, because it just looked a bit thin. So I've gone over that again. And I've done all the grease nipples. Most of them were snapped off here, there and everywhere. I had to do a bit of drilling and tapping. And all of them on the scraper as well. All them had snapped off. So I've done all them. Looks a bit better with another coat on as well. Done it at the back as well. I thinned it down with a bit of terps. So wait till it goes off and get it built back up and that. So I just chucked the plastics back in, which I ended up just arrowditing. They're a bit knackered, half of them are missing, but it'll do me for now. As soon as they're dead expensive. I've got to make a latch for it because it had some kind of cable tie system codged on because it was all bent. So just something which will latch underneath there. Just going to use a bolt and weld another bolt to it. I'll sort that out. Check out my expansion bottle. Do for now that. I put a massive Land Rover battery on it. Only just fits. I just made a little clamp for it, so that's all secured down. Fixed all the electronics. Just the horn and these lights, they're all working now. So all good, and all the fuses were all corroded in the fuse box, so I sorted all them out. Had a tracker on it, so I've took that off because it was draining the battery, because it's non-use, it was on the last company who owned it. So yeah, that's all good. I've got a little cut off hidden away as well. So yeah, just got to do the boot now, get that mounted up. Done all the filters as well. Fuel filter, oil filter, hydraulic filter. Checked all the levels, greased everything, checked everything over, changed the oil. And yeah, it's pretty good to go, other than getting the boot on. So I'm well chuffed with that. So I'll get that boot sorted now. Happy with how all this has turned out as well. Like, this was absolutely knackered, as you've seen. So it's nice and tight now and all greased up. So rather than buying I'd have to buy a full boom and probably a dipper because it was seized in that. It's worked out a lot cheaper. So yeah, chuffed with that now. So my little boot latch, just got a nut with a little shoulder on it and a little washer over the other side so that fits in flush. And then just a bolt which I've cut a bit off, just put a flat in it, bit of flat steel which I've just filed that out of, little shape which goes over there, and a few little nuts and that. So I'll get all that chucked on and that'll be it. That's it, that's on. That should just up underneath there. Put you on here in a minute. Belting. That'll do me. Codged and bodged, mate. Should be alright that. Might weld a little bolt on it, whip the ends off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I did get, through the post as well, some stickers. So I'll get them chucked on now. Still got all the safety stickers to put on, but put the outside ones on and it looks well better. Look at that. Looks belting that, doesn't it? Put the one on the boot as well. Proper jobby, mate. Well, chuffed with that. Not bad for a codgit and bodgit job on the cheap. So I'll give her a whirl outside now, I think. So yeah, well chuffed with that. She's done alright. First little voyage. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. So thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.